You wait till you hear my answers. You might change. Come on. Yes.
All right, here we go. Good afternoon. I'm Mary Wilder, Executive Director at Gift of Life Transplant House. And this afternoon I have the honor and privilege to be joined by Jeff Anike from DBS Group. Oh, here it comes.
This is my kid is little, but I think there's a cute one in here. My son's first trip, fishing trip to Canada, caught a 43-inch northern, and won the trip, won the bet.
Jeff is the Vice President of Business Development, and I'm so excited to have an opportunity to visit with you this afternoon. Thank you, Jeff.
You're very welcome, Mary. Happy to have you here.
You are quite the remarkable man. You are the Vice President of Business Development here at DBS Group. And DBS Group, as I understand, is a design, build, construction company. And you have offices in La Crosse and Rochester, correct?
Onalaska, Wisconsin, outside La Crosse and Rochester.
And I believe you also serve on two boards, nonprofit boards here in town. One is Habitat for Humanity, and the other is the Neuro Hospitality House.
That is correct.
Very good. So what drives your involvement in the Rochester community?
That's a great question, Mary. I'm a Rochester native. I've spent most of my life in this town. The community has been very good to me, and I chose to serve on these two boards because I think they're great organizations fulfilling a critical and important need. And quite frankly, I have a personal interest in both their missions as well.
That's great, Jeff. I didn't realize you were a Rochester native.
I am.
My goodness.
I am.
Wow.
Go Rockets.
Well, that's great. Well, now listen, DBS Group, and you are the author of an upcoming fundraising campaign called Max the Match. It's going to coincide with Give to the Max Day, which is a large nonprofit fundraising campaign in November. And I'm wondering if you can tell me a little bit about that.
It's something that we do every year. And, it's part of the DBS Group core values to give back to the communities that we do business in, the communities we live in, and to be able to add exposure and awareness around that Give to the Max or Max the Match Day. That's what we're doing.
Right.
And ideally, again, it inspires others to give as well.
Well, now I'd like to get into those details a little bit more because from what I understand, from what you told me, is that you will match up to $3,000 in donations. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And then if a nonprofit were to have the most donors, they'll receive another $3,000.
That is correct as well.
So that is a remarkably generous contribution, and something that I have always respected about DBS Group and about you is your willingness to give back to the community. So thank you for that. Now, go ahead.
That's always been, part of our core values is, again, we don't just do business in the area. We're part of the community, and we want to give back to the community as well. And by doing so, can we be role models and inspire others to give?
Well, and I think you certainly do. That's very true. But now there's two organizations, and three altogether, that are part of this campaign, Paws and Claws and Boys and Girls Club. And they're wonderful organizations.
Agreed.
But what caused you to include Gift of Life in this fundraising campaign?
Another good question, Mary. Gift of Life has always been near and dear to my heart. Years ago, I met Nick Pompain, and I got the story about, how his father started it and what a critical need that was fulfilling. I've seen the growth over the years. Mary, I met you. One of the first things we did is you took me into the facility and we did a tour. And the minute that you walk in there, you can see the sense of community.
Oh yeah.
It's an amazing organization. So again, it's one of those things where a great organization filling a critical need, and I do anything I can to support it.
Thank you.
What's interesting too is, besides being very familiar with the organization, is out and about in the community. I've met people, it's come up unsolicited, people that have either stayed at the Gift of Life or visited somebody there. And again, it's nice to hear those things spreading throughout the community.
And that's remarkable. Thank you so very much. We are delighted to be included in this fundraising campaign, so thank you. So now I'm curious about something else. Southern Minnesota has the largest concentration of nonprofits in the state of Minnesota. There's nearly 17% of all nonprofits are just clustered right in this small area. So for those who are wondering about which of these three organizations to give to, I'm wondering how you personally evaluate who you're going to support financially.
Another good question. For me personally, I evaluate it based on what is the mission or need they're trying to fill. And then from there, ideally, there's a personal interest or connection with that organization. Those two things combined, it makes it a pretty easy decision to try and give or donate to those organizations.
Yeah. Thank you so very much. So as a result of the generosity of this fundraising campaign, what's the impact that DBS Group is hoping to make?
Again, primarily just to inspire others to give, to let people know that, again, although we do business here, to let people know that we're part of the community and we want to give back to those communities that we work in as well.
Jeff, if I were to ask you this last question, as a tangible way of saying thank you, what would you tell Gift of Life to do? What would it be
A
that you would
tangible
want?
way to say thank
tangible
you.
way to say thank
You're
you.
putting me on the spot here, Mary. You know what you can do?
What?
Is just keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
You know, again, Gift of Life is fulfilling an amazing need, and it's really doing what it's set out for. It's fulfilling that mission that Nick's father set out, you know, to try and achieve. So that, and selfishly, if somebody asks you about Jeff or DBS Group, tell them how you really feel, and I'll be happy with that.
And that will not be a problem for me. I sing your praises and the praises of DBS Group all the time. Jeff, it's been such a
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you so much.
I sincerely appreciate it.
Thank you.